I caught my sister flirting with my husband in my shower while I was on a business trip. My revenge made them both cry. Some secrets hide in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to shatter everything. I never thought I'd be caught in the middle of one until the day I walked into my own home and found my world turned upside down. Chapter 1. You think you know the people closest to you, right? That's what I used to believe. I was the kind of person who trusted easily my husband, my sister, my whole world. But life has a way of blindsiding you when you least expect it. And suddenly, you're living in a story you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. I'm Greta, 30, a marketing manager with a hectic job that keeps me traveling more than I'd like. Tom and I have been married for 5 years. We've always been that couple people say is meant to be. You know, the high school sweethearts who stuck it out, built a life together, and somehow made it look easy. Then there's my sister, Kelly. She's 2 years younger, full of life, and always the center of attention. If I'm the dependable rock, Kelly's the unpredictable firecracker. And until now, I'd always thought we complemented each other perfectly. So, last week, I was on a business trip. It was just another typical work thing, endless meetings, fancy dinners, and way too much small talk. By day 6, I was missing Tom like crazy. So, I thought, why not come home a day early and surprise him? I pictured this perfect moment where he'd be all excited to see me. Maybe we'd have a quiet dinner. And then, well, you get the idea. I pulled into the driveway, practically buzzing with excitement. I slipped my shoes off quietly, wanting to catch him off guard. The house was unusually quiet, but I figured Tom might be napping or out running errands. I made my way through the living room, and that was when I heard it, the shower running. A smile crept across my face. Perfect timing, right? I'd just jump in, and it would be the romantic reunion I'd been daydreaming about all week. But as I got closer, I heard something else. A voice. A woman's voice. My heart started to race. But I kept moving, telling myself it was nothing until I recognized the voice. Kelly. My sister. In my house. With my husband. I stopped dead in my tracks. My breath caught in my throat. Then I heard Kelly's voice again. Clear as day. Honey. Come in. We only have a few more days until she gets back. My stomach twisted. It was like my entire world had just shattered in one cruel second. I could feel my pulse pounding in my ears and my hands trembling. I wanted to burst through that door and scream. To confront them both right there. Dripping wet and defenseless. But I didn't. Something in me just snapped. And suddenly, anger gave way to something else. Something far more satisfying. If they wanted to play games, I could play too. And I was going to win. I backed away, grabbed my keys, and left as quietly as I'd come. My hands were shaking as I started the car, my head buzzing with anger and disbelief. The longer I drove, the clearer my thoughts became. I wasn't just going to confront them. That would be too easy. Too predictable. I was going to make them regret every second of this little fling in the most perfect, humiliating, and hilarious way possible. I pulled into the nearest store, grabbed a cart, and started tossing in everything I'd need for my plan. They'd messed with the wrong woman, and by the time I was done, they would wish they had never stepped foot in my house. Step 1 of my plan? I headed back home. By the time I got there, Tom and Kelly were lounging around in the living room like they owned the place. I could hear their laughter, and it made my skin crawl. I sneaked inside, keeping to the edges of the room so they wouldn't notice me. It was hard to stay quiet when all I wanted to do was yell. But I kept my cool. After that, I grabbed a couple of garbage bags and started collecting all of Tom's stuff, his clothes, shoes, his beloved video game consoles. and even his shaving kit. It felt like I was moving him out. But that wasn't exactly the plan. Once I had everything, I loaded up my car and drove straight to Kelly's house. I dumped Tom's stuff all over her front yard, making sure his favorite console landed face down on the grass. I took a deep breath, feeling the rush of satisfaction. I wasn't done yet, but this was a good start. Step 2, I called Sarah, our mutual friend with a flair for drama. She's the type who'd wear a ball gown to a pizza party just for the fun of it. If anyone could help make this plan spectacular, it was her. Sarah, you will not believe what just happened, I said, my voice shaky from both anger and excitement. Greta, what's going on? She asked, immediately concerned. I filled her in on everything: the shower, the betrayal, the dumping of Tom's stuff. She gasped, then started laughing so hard she had to put me on speaker just to catch her breath. Oh my God, Greta. This is insane. What are you going to do? Well, I said, smiling at the idea forming in my head. We were planning that barbecue next weekend, right? How about we move it up to tomorrow? But this isn't just any barbecue, it's a coming out party. Sarah was all in. She started texting people right away. And within minutes, the guest list had doubled. We were turning this into the event of the year, and everyone was about to witness the grand unveiling of Tom and Kelly's little secret. Step 3 was my favorite. I set up a group chat with friends and family, including Tom and Kelly, and sent out a message. Exciting news! Come to Sarah's tomorrow for a big surprise. Dress code: tropical vacation vibes. The next day, the backyard was filled with people in floral shirts, sunglasses, and bright colors, sipping cocktails and wondering what the big news was. I watched from the sidelines as Tom and Kelly showed up, both looking uneasy, probably sensing something was off. Hey, love, Tom said, startled to see me. When did you return from your business trip and what's this all about? Oh, you'll see, hun, I replied, giving him a sweet smile. Kelly tried to avoid eye contact, fidgeting with the strap of her sundress. I could tell she was nervous, and that was exactly how I wanted her to feel. When everyone had arrived, I clinked my glass to get their attention. Hey, guys, thanks for coming on such short notice, I began. I know you're all curious about the surprise. And trust me, it's a big one. I glanced over at Tom and Kelly, their faces a blend of confusion and fear. I almost felt sorry for them. Almost. So, here's the deal, I continued. Yesterday, I found out that my darling husband Tom and my wonderful sister Kelly have been sneaking around behind my back. Gasps echoed around the yard, eyes darting between Tom, Kelly, and me. But don't worry, I'm not mad. In fact, I'm grateful, because this whole mess brought me closer to all of you and made me realize something. Tom looked like he'd been slapped. Greta. Wait, he started. But I held up my hand. Oh, we're not done. Since you two love surprises so much, we're going to play a little game today. It's called Who Can Pack Faster? I pulled out 2 suitcases I'd brought along and tossed them at Kelly and Tom's feet. You have 10 minutes to pack your things and get out of my life. The faster you go, the faster you win. There was a stunned silence. Then a burst of laughter from Sarah, quickly followed by a ripple of giggles around the group. Tom's face flushed red, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Kelly looked like she wanted to disappear. Tom tried to stammer something, his voice cracking. Greta, please. It's not what it looks like. I swear. Save it. Tom. I cut him off, arms crossed. The only words I want to hear from you are goodbye. Kelly grabbed her bag, tears brimming in her eyes. This is ridiculous. She spat, her voice shaking as she stormed off toward the gate. Tom lingered, looking around at our friends, desperate for someone to back him up. Guys, come on. This is a misunderstanding. Sarah raised her glass with a smirk. Better find a new place. Tom. Good luck. Tom hesitated, his shoulders slumping in defeat. He finally turned and followed Kelly out, his face red with embarrassment. By the end of it, half of our friends were offering me drinks, and the other half were telling Tom to figure out his living situation. Needless to say, Tom didn't come home that night. And Kelly? Well, she's been trying to avoid family functions ever since. They thought they'd play me, but in the end, I got the last laugh. Tell us what you think about this story, and share it with your friends. It might inspire them and brighten their day.